They're not just competing against each other, they're also competing against these two alphabet called AI. Leadership is not about the position that you're put in, but it's about the actions that you take.
All right, hi everyone. Welcome back again for the MAJU Talks. In this new episode, I have someone very special guest. He's not from Indonesia, by the way. He's from this country called Singapore, and he's been with us for over 20 years. So please introduce yourself.
Okay, hi everyone. Okay, my name is Chuan Lay. I'm one of the trainers from the I'm Gifted program. And I do mainly this thing called motivational program as well as leadership programs, right, for teenagers. So I've been coaching and training for the past 20 years. I've been to different regions throughout Southeast Asia. So I've trained in Malaysia, Vietnam, Singapore, Thailand, right? And I've been to all these countries to train. And I have a wealth of experience so-called training people, right, from different backgrounds and different culture diversity.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Coach Chuan Lay. I think with all of the experience that Coach Chuan Lay have, it will be so good. This podcast bisa punya banyak informasi dan insight. So I will start with this question to Coach Chuan Lay. Do you think nowadays in Indonesia or Singapore, anywhere, as a teenager, they're still very young, right? Do you think being or having leadership skills is important or not really?
Okay, I think that leadership skills is important, even though they are young, right? They should be starting to practice and pick up, right, the skills of how to be a leader, especially in countries like Indonesia, where, their families have got family businesses that sometimes they need to take over. So being able to run and manage, right, the businesses, they need leadership skills. Being able to work with people, even in, at their age, right? When they're in school, when they're in university, their tertiary education, they have projects to do. So when they're able to work, right, and be the leader of the projects, they tend to be able to score better. And when they come out, right, they have the leadership skills with them, right? It's also easier for them to find employment. Which in Indonesia case, right, they can start their own businesses, they can take over the family business, and all these will require the leadership skills. So I think, in fact, if you ask me, for Indonesia in particular, it's even more important.
I see. Whoa. Okay. I think it's a very good insight, Coach Chuan Lay, because I used to think that leadership skills is only for adults, people who has age, who has position. But I think it's a good insight also. So when we are sharing and we're talking about leadership skills, what are the soft skills that is crucial inside the leadership skills that you think people or students or teenagers need to have nowadays?
Okay, I think nowadays with AI itself as well. So if you ask me about soft skills, I think one of the two most important skills that they need to have, right? Number one is decision-making skills. Number two, right, is this thing called critical thinking and problem-solving skills. Right? So with these two skill set, why is it important? Is because, right, as they compete nowadays, unlike our generation, we are competing with other human beings, right? But for nowadays, right, who the kids are competing against, right, is they're not just competing against each other, they're also competing against these two alphabet called AI, right? So with AI coming in, if they're able, right, to make decisions, if they're able, right, to have decision-making skills, as well as critical thinking and problem-solving skills, they'll be able, right, to use AI to their advantage rather than to be afraid of AI taking over their jobs.
I see.
Right? So if you ask me the soft skills, I think that's the soft skills that's important. And for kids who don't have these soft skills, they do not need to worry because leadership is not about the position that you're put in. So you're not put in the position of leadership, but it's about the actions that you take. So as long as you start taking more and more actions and you can actually pick up the skills of decision making, as well as this thing called critical thinking, right, and problem solving skills, if you take enough actions, right? So meaning to say, right, even I may not be in the position of a leader, but if I'm able to put in the effort, if I'm able to take the actions and I keep improving myself, I keep on learning how to do it. I may not be successful at the first attempt, but if I keep taking action, right, then I will keep improving. And once I'm able to gather enough experience, I will pick up the skills of how to make decisions.
I see,
right?
I see. I really like the quotes, by the way. Leadership is not a position, but leadership is
About the actions.
action. I agree. In fact, my parents, mommy and daddies, and all my friends in the YouTube of Zaman Academy, Coach Chuan Lay is leading the biggest leadership camp in Indonesia, Jakarta and Surabaya. It's called the Teenage Leadership Camp. It was going to have and happen in next June 2026. So, Coach Chuan Lay, I think a couple of questions remaining to talk to you. It's a very interesting insight because nowadays AI is everywhere, and people say AI are going to threaten the career of these teenagers nowadays. All right, but the question is, maybe the parents want to know, how do these young people, which is teenagers or kids, age 12, 13, 15, 16, young teenagers, young adults, how do they acquire the leadership skills by taking action? Like what kind of action that they need to take every single day in their life?
Okay, so like what I mentioned, right? Leadership is about actions, not the position. So
Yes.
if they're willing to do actions, right, that can equip them with leadership, such as, for example, right, managing a group, right, being able to decide on how to lead, right, what kind of actions should they be taking, what kind of actions do people like, right, and from there, right, if they are able to do so, they can actually pick up those skills through activities.
I see.
Okay, so through things that they do, right, through even the videos that they watch, the books that they read, the people that they hang out with. So if they come for the program itself, right? So during our program,
Correct,
okay,
correct.
What makes it work for them is during the program itself, we give everyone, right, the opportunity to actually take action and be a leader.
Wow, I
Right.
see, I
So
see.
it's the opportunity of them taking the action. And once they take enough actions, they slowly realize that actually leadership is nothing to be afraid of.
Correct.
Right. And most people, they are afraid of making decisions because of the fear that they will make mistakes. But in our program, right, we let them know that, leaders are never perfect, but leaders are the kind, right, that's willing to take enough actions until,
Yes.
right, they make it perfect.
Yes.
Right.
All right, nice. Okay. I think the insight that I take from you is that at every single day they need to create an opportunity and take every action. That is from them, Coach Chuan Lay, right?
Yeah.
How about from the parents? So do you have like any tips for the parents? Because the parents are going to be there with them 24/7, right? What can the parents do? Any tips for the parents to build up the children's leadership, starting from the house, or maybe what can the parents do?
Okay, so like I mentioned, right, the two soft skills that the teenagers nowadays need to be a leader,
Yes.
right, is decision making as well as critical thinking and problem solving skills, right? So one way that the parents can help, right, is by empowering their kids every day,
Ooh.
right? And how do the parents empower the kids? Is by empowering them, right, with the ability to make decisions, right? So when I say make decision, it can be as simple as deciding where the family should go for their family dinner, right? And get the kids to go and do the planning itself. So when they do the planning, they come across problems, challenges, how expensive is it? Where's the place to go? Can the place fit? Do I need to do booking for the
Wow.
family? So when they are given opportunities to take actions like that, and they are every day, right, exposed to the fact that, by making these decisions, small little decisions, they are actually, right, accumulating and gaining this thing called leadership. And leadership can start at home from simple decisions, like,
Wow.
where the family should go, what food should the family have, right? What activities, okay, what games can the family play, right, to bring the family closer. And all these small little opportunities where they can take actions, all these small little actions that they take will slowly accumulate, and you will equip them, right, with the skill set, right, that is needed, right?
Wow. I think from me, that was very mind-blowing. Let me talk in bahasa Indonesia ya. Parents, kedengeran kan barusan apa yang Coach Chuan Lay bilang, bahwa hal-hal kecil yang kita lakukan di rumah, itu sebetulnya bisa bantu anak-anak. Yuk kita mau liburan kemana? Pilih film, Koko, Cece yang pilih ya. So from that little choices that they make, they are learning to make a decision, they make a choices, and to think critically before they decide something. So, Coach Chuan Lay, one last words from you for the students of Indonesia, for the children of Indonesia. One last words from you to them, Coach Chuan Lay.
So, like I said, I've been coming to Indonesia to train, right, the leadership. And I do see, right, that Indonesian kids, they have the ability, okay, to really pick up things really fast. So with a little bit of empowerment, right, with more, exposure to this thing called activities and actions, I still want to end off with the same quote. It's not, okay, the positions that makes the leader. It's the actions that they take that makes the leader. And by so-called exposing them to the opportunities to make decisions, right? By exposing them to the opportunities to take actions, right? It really equips them with what it takes to become a leader, right?
Nice. Thank you so much, Coach Chuan Lay. Parents, so that's all for this episode, the MAJU Talks. And today, there's a lot of insight about leadership, and we will see you in the next episode. See you!